Now, in Rolling Row, we need first of all to plan materials that will utilise as much of the curriculum studies as are required in the national curriculum. And as far as my thinking goes, I still think if I can get 3 good points of entry, it will carry all the curriculum of any year or years that is necessary. Now, we've got this particular one. We've invented the Wallbank family, who own a brewery. This I see myself as offering us all the humanities domain, because it is family, family in community, community working in factory over a very long period of time. So it seems to me we can get an enormous amount from that. Then we have a canning factory, which can take us right back to the Middle Ages and sooner if we wish, because we're exploiting the rhubarb fields in a very particular district which would have been exploited by the Cistercian monks. So we have here our science domain. Now, the science domain, obviously, at this point is the farming aspects, the food preparations, all the business of food hygiene and so on. And our third one is the matter of the arts, and for this we've invented Madame Lingard's dress shop, going back to early Victorian times when there were no patterns, and so everything was hand done by gels, perhaps. We've extended our Madame Lingard's to include what later would be a small street of clothing shops, from clogs, purses, furs, and so on. Now, all of these are not so discrete that you can't mix them up. For example, there's a great deal of science in the Lingard, in the Wallbank brewery. You can imagine that easily. All the mechanisation, eventually the boilers, all the business of how brewing works, and the canning business of it, the bottling and so on. And of course, you have all the arts areas of the working horses, the decorative themes, the festivals, the labelling of their products and so on. There's always entry from the humanities easily into science and art. And equally, if you look at your science domain, you've got very much the designing of tools, you've got archaeology, you've got architecture from your canning factory, and you've got all the business of marketing and so on, moving into the arts. But you've also got the history of farming coming in to the science. And then, of course, in Madame Lingard, you have again the humanities, her dealings with her workers and so on, the pattern making, the dyeing, and so on. And so they go together. Now, you have these 3 areas which teachers must collaborate on planning. And they have to be activated in some way by the first classes that join this. In the case of this one, we've chosen that the point of change that makes this important to be got into and lived with, because it becomes ours as we work on it, is that the rising sun in, which is on the map here as the rising sun in, is starting an initiative to stop a feud that has lived in this village for 150 years, when there was a terrible disaster in the brewery. So the initiative to bring this whole thing to the curriculum is that somebody's got to stop quarrelling round here. And so our innkeeper is really going to initiate all the changes, because the modern people are carrying all this history in their very souls. Now, when you're planning then, this is the first element to establish. Which domains of possibility will take me into the curriculum we as a team want to tap into and share the work. So the first thing, ladies, get your domains. And it's worth spending a bit of time on. Don't rush your domains. Think, can I really see the possibilities for art? Can I really see the possibilities for history, geography, and so on, and so on?